Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and gentle ladies of planet Earth. Welcome, fellow disciples of plausible deniability. I am Orange U Glad, the citrus maestro of misdirection, the CEO of Ethics EVADER Academy, commander of corporate evasion, the denier of government accountability, among other things, and full-time truth contortionist. Welcome to my masterclass. Give me your tired, your poorly educated, your huddled masses yearning to break stuff, the wretched refuse of our failed system. Send these, the homegrown terrorists, gullible madmen to me. I lift my sun lamp beside the basket of deplorables. So welcome to lesson 1 of our masterclass and what will be a series on how to commit corruption and still get invited to charity galas. The purpose of today's lesson is to teach us, every one of us, how to be corrupt as hell and get away with it all. Today's technique is a classic, almost artistic maneuver known as blame the intern. It's elegant, it's efficient, it's like emotional recycling. You take your guilt, pass it down the corporate food chain, and boom, you get to sleep at night. Now, interns are perfect. Interns are the Swiss Army knife of guilt. They open your mail, fetch your coffee, and when the SEC shows up, they become your sacrificial lamb wrapped in a resume. They're like little sponges for blame, soaking up all the misdeeds you didn't technically do. No health insurance, no voting rights in meetings, and barely enough coffee privileges to survive a Monday morning. These idealistic creatures come in hoping to gain experience, and we give them just that, experience. And in this case, the experience learned is in being the scapegoat for a scandal they didn't even understand. And for us here at planet Earth's most powerful position and office, we don't do accountability here, we do optics, that's like accountability, but with jazz hands and a legal team. Some say interns deserve mentorship. I say they deserve plausible culpability in a multi-layered scandal involving 3 shell companies, 2 lobbyists, and a shredded napkin with the word "run" scribbled in glitter pen. Let's say you accidentally approve weapons sales to a regime with a human rights record that makes medieval torture look like a spa day. Don't worry. Just say it was part of the intern's growth plan. It's experiential learning with international consequences. And if said regime should so happen to chop their least favorite journalist into itty-bitty little pieces, don't worry, it wasn't you that did it. It was them. All you're doing is selling them weapons. You can't be held responsible for how they use them. And even then, the entire sales pitch was done by the intern. It was their training day. Didn't they do such a great job? You ever notice how the more a politician talks about transparency, the more they're surrounded by opaque walls and NDAs thick enough to smother truth itself? That's not a coincidence. It's branding. We don't hide corruption. We market it. Politicians lie. CEOs obfuscate. But interns just try not to cry in the bathroom before their lunch break ends. Consider this. There's a spreadsheet mysteriously misfiled, leading to $2 million mysteriously and very illegally being used to fund your own stuff. You think the CEOs are going down for that? No. Enter the intern, bright-eyed, running Excel like it's a video game. Boom shakalaka! Must have been them. They were tired, didn't sleep. Too much caffeine. Maybe they confused the spreadsheet with their TikTok drafts. Easy peasy citrus squeezy. Blaming interns works best with tactical setup. You need to create what is known in America's Great White House, which is where I live, as institutional fog. This is a haze of jargon and task ambiguity. Keep instructions vague, such as, can you just handle that file thing? Now, it's important that you don't say what file, or how important it is, or how to handle it, or what to do with it when handled. Just delegate as vaguely as possible. Then later, when the auditors come sniffing around, you pull the classic, "It was delegated, yes, but unfortunately the delegate was, well, new to the corporate ethos." Bonus points if you assign the intern a project titled something misleading, like environmental outreach, which is actually a front for deleting emails connecting your lobbyist to a refinery explosion in Paraguay. And don't forget the press strategy. Rule number 1, be confident. You must look like you know it wasn't your fault, but also be sad, just a little. It's also important that you appear to show some level of regret. Rule number 2, use phrases like, "We deeply regret the actions of our summer associate, and we had no idea a 19-year-old could navigate offshore accounts with such sophistication." Suddenly you're not negligent, you're betrayed. Oh, the heartbreak of being deceived by someone who still uses stickers on their laptop and whose face looks like a slapped ass. Imagine the setting, the intern confused in a hearing, holding up a flash drive like it's a sacred relic. Meanwhile, I'm at the golf course, swinging balls and hitting sticks, as innocent as could be, and seemingly oblivious to the stress. It is important that you do not appear under stress at all times, because why would you be stressed? You did nothing wrong, so you have nothing to fear, right? Only guilty people look stressed, and how can I be stressed when I'm busy putting another orange ball into the 18th hole? If the press are rude enough to question or accuse you, just read a prepared statement about corporate responsibility. You may even want to throw in a quote from Nelson Mandela to seal the deal. Classic damage control. Want to make it stick? Add a mentorship narrative. We really believed in Jamie. We saw such promise. It's tragic that they misappropriated funds for drone surveillance over protest camps, but it's a learning moment for all of us. See how clean that is? You didn't do anything, but you learned. That's redemption through rhetorical gymnastics. If you do expect the haters to forgive you, then it is important that you appear to look like you may have learned a valuable life lesson during this process. Of course, you shouldn't have to, because you are innocent, obviously. Those funds were just waiting in your account, obviously. But still, it is always important to seem as though you have learned something, anything. This maneuver is a cornerstone of modern power structures. The powerful don't fall, they delegate downfall. Interns, assistants, middle managers, collateral career damage for the preservation of dynastic boardroom thrones. And we call it leadership. We write LinkedIn posts about resilience. We win diversity awards while publicly disowning people in unpaid positions. We make the pawns wear red hats and call it a win whilst denouncing anyone who doesn't agree as traitors. That last part is my own addition to the maneuver. You must always surround yourself with loyalists so that when you do throw them under the bus, they do it without too much screaming or shouting. I hate screamers and shouters, unless that is they are screaming my name in love. Orange, 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 orange. Yes, my darlings, scream for me. I am your God. Now, do you believe in a God that tells you lies? Do you believe in a God that makes you cry? Do you believe in a God up in the sky? Or do you believe in me? It's all theatre. The world is a stage, as they say, or someone said, a play where the lead actor refuses to appear in court while the understudy gets subpoenaed and a $20 Starbucks voucher. I mean, really, has anyone ever heard a politician say, "I take full responsibility"? And mean it? Of course not, and you'll never hear me say it either. No, because the statement is always followed by the word "but." For example, I take full responsibility, but the intern was in charge of shredding the classified documents, and I was on the golf buggy fiddling with my favourite whore at that time. You see, full responsibility just means I have a whole bunch of very, very expensive lawyers. Now, it is very important to note that in the above, I have been giving examples of chucking an intern under the fat coach's wheels, but it's also important to note that I do not have an intern. I am too high up, too powerful. I'm top of the food chain, I'm numero uno, maestro of the managers, head honcho, the big boss, the most powerful orange on earth. And people like me, well, we don't have interns. We have other very important people such as CEOs or bank managers, and they have the interns. I'm too powerful to be dealing with someone who's barely a week past growing their first pubic hair. Oh no, the people below me, the ones I employ to be my loyal chicken suckers, they are the ones with the interns. Still though, the lesson still applies. I may not blame my intern, but I will blame the next guy below me, and he can blame his intern if he thinks he'll get away with it. Take, for example, one of my sons, my least favourite one, Orange Eric. In a deposition related to the New York Attorney General's lawsuit, I once distanced myself from my own son, and from any business dealings by saying, "My son Eric is much more involved with it than I am." This was a move that surprised even my good friend Michael the lawyer, who described me as throwing Eric under the bus. And then there's poor Michael himself, who I happily blamed and abandoned after I was caught paying hush money to one of my least favourite prostitutes. I shifted focus towards Michael, of course, distancing myself from the transactions by saying, "You'll have to ask Michael." I then stopped paying for his legal fees, because only a guilty man would do that. And as I said earlier, it's all about optics, and I can't be seen to be helping the guilty man who may or may not have definitely did do the thing on my behalf. Showing his true colours, though, Michael eventually turned against me, and he started cooperating with prosecutors instead, showing to the world just what kind of traitorous scum he always was. Do you not see? When I blame people, I do it out of love, for myself. But when other people blame me, they do it out of hate, also for myself. But love will always triumph over hate, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why I win. Because of love. And then, just a few weeks ago, I called the bus driver once more to run repeatedly over another supposed friend of mine and long-time mouth-breather, Tallulah Gabba 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 Gabba. She was stupid enough to say that Middle Eastern country over there, the one with the nice people but terrible leaders, she said they were not developing certain weapons of mass destruction. Obviously, I ignored and discounted her research, making it seem as unimportant as physically possible, before bombing the absolute shit out of their country. I don't care whether they had a lot of country or not, they certainly have less of it now. This is a recent example of my blaming someone in advance of my actions. Usually I blame someone after I've screwed up, but in this one I preemptively told the world to ignore the silly woman before going on to do what I wanted anyway. Talking about my lawyer, Michael, he once predicted I would eventually scapegoat my own son-in-law, the apple of my daughter's citrus eye, Mr. Silent Kumquat himself, amid investigations into my orange organization. Michael even joked that I would say I barely know Jared, despite him being family, and he was right. That is exactly what I would have done. Never forget, boys and girls, anyone and everyone is fair game, and the closer to you that they are, then the more they are within pushing distance. Family, friends, employees, interns, all are disposable, all are nothing. Nothing is without consent. Consent is for losers. And the bus has very many wheels. So there it is, folks. Lesson 1. Blame anyone. Blame everyone. Blame the intern. But never blame yourself. Because accountability is for idealists and philosophy majors. In the real world, such as the one that I am in control of, we practice corporate jiu-jitsu. Redirect, deflect, and if needed, complain about injustice in high definition. Call it a witch hunt. Scream, they are out to get me. Not everyone will believe it, but you don't need everyone on your side. You only need enough. Enough living bullet shields to soak up the shrapnel and be used as flak if needed. This is life. Join me or fail, your choice. So remember, dear viewers, accountability is like kale at a barbecue. Everyone pretends it's important, but nobody touches it unless a camera's rolling. Next time on Ethics EVADER Academy, we'll dive into Lesson 2, how to launder reputation through charitable foundations and golden retrievers, featuring puppies, press photos, and tax loopholes disguised as community outreach. Until then, stay strategic, stay slippery, and remember, if the intern asks too many questions, just send them to HR for a growth opportunity, preferably somewhere with no Wi-Fi. I fought the law and I won. I fought the law and I won. You needed healthcare, but you have none. I fought the law and I won. Don't forget, I love all my scapegoats. Without them, I would be nothing. I love them all, I love you all, but the most love of all is the love I have for my drip-dry, drive-by, deny, small fry, sky-high, black eye, fall guy. I'm not the bad guy, it's everyone else that sucks. Goodbye.